Hey everyone, welcome back out to Harvest Hills Ranch. You know, we've been shooting a lot of content lately, Leah, about telling people how to have the right mental approach to exercise, but we really need to show these guys actually how to do some of these exercises that we've been telling them about, or alluding to, I guess, as we go through here. So that's what we're going to do today, guys. We're going to take you through some body weight exercises and introduce some of these to you with a focus on lower body. And we'll give you some details as we go through these. So, hey, I am Dr. Arland Hill. Leah Hill here with me today, and she's going to help me demonstrate these exercises to you guys. We have a passion for all things nutrition, health, and wellness related, and we enjoy sharing this information with you. We're going to put our brains together and the stuff that we've learned and stuff that we enjoy doing with bodyweight exercises. We're going to start sharing that with you today. And like I said, we're going to start off with lower body exercises, and I've got 5 core exercises for you that we're going to be focusing on, and these are the ones that you can start to build the rest of your routines around, whether you are doing something that is more of a higher intensity, whether you need something at a lower intensity, more of a slower methodical pace. These are going to be exercises you'll find that you'll constantly come back to. And one of the things I really like about these particular types of exercises, they're staples, right? And these are things that if you become better able to incorporate and perform these exercises, you're going to find that the things that you're doing throughout your daily life actually become a lot easier too. And I think that's an important thing for all of us. And honestly, that's one of the underlying reasons that I work out, right? That's why you do it. So with that being said, we are going to start working you through these and show you how to perform these, tell you the things to focus on, and also tell you some key things to make sure you avoid as well. So let's just jump right into this.
Let's do it.
All right. Now, when it comes to these body weight exercises, remember, you don't need anything. You can just use your body weight to execute these and get a great workout. It's one of the reasons I like having these as a starting point for you to get comfortable with your activities. So with that in mind, I want to demonstrate this bodyweight squat. And again, you'll come back to this one over and over. And if you're looking at this and you're thinking, oh goodness, I'm not sure how exactly I'm going to do that, stick with me because I have a variation for you on this that I'm going to share with you. But let's start with the bodyweight squat first. So the idea here is that we just want to get a comfortable stance. Some of you are going to be a little wider, some of you are going to be a little narrower, some of you are going to have your feet turned out, some of them are going to be a bit straighter. Those are all individual differences, and they don't play a huge factor in just getting you going and starting to develop with a squat. So literally what we're going to do is we're going to find that comfortable stance. We're going to just put our arms out in front of us, and here's the key things. Remember, I said I'm going to show you what to focus on. You're going to put your foot flat on the floor, and when you're pushing back up, you are pushing through your entire foot, and you're going to keep your head up. So we're literally just going down, pushing back up through our whole foot, and coming back up. Going back down, pushing back up through our whole foot. Now, one thing we want to make sure that we avoid, and this is a key mistake, is it's as we don't have flexibility and we're starting to go down, we want to make sure that when we go down, we're not leaning over. Now, that causes us to get out on the front of our foot. So we want to make sure we're keeping that foot planted on the floor. Okay? Now, let's talk about what a variation looks like for not being able to do a bodyweight squat. And I want to say real quick before we go to this variation, I gave you a complete parallel squat, so we were going down a little lower. If you can only do this as a squat, there's nothing wrong with that, guys. That's an okay starting point, and you can build up from there. So let's take a look at this variation. Now, Leah, we need a variation for the squat. So we need a starting point. So guys, I'm going to let Leah show us a wall squat. So Leah, go ahead and perform that wall squat. So literally all she is doing is placing her hips and pelvis against the wall, and can you feel these quads contracting right here?
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Leg day.
These are contracting, and so if you're not able to do that bodyweight squat that I was illustrating, then this is the way you want to start developing strength in your lower extremities, in your legs. We ultimately, this is putting a lot of emphasis on the front portion, on the quads here. We ultimately want to get to the point where we are doing you can come up, I know those legs are burning. We can get to the point where we want to do a freestanding, or even if you're having to balance on something initially, you know, do a freestanding, because now we're engaging both the front and the back of the leg equally, and we want to make sure that we're not creating a strength or a dominance in one side versus the other.
Right. Another thing is make sure when you're in that position, don't lean forward. A lot of people are weaker in their upper back and their shoulders. So don't do this. Just kind of, you saw me adjust my shoulders a little bit and then make sure I was straight on the wall.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. And I'll just add to even what she's saying right there is that most of us are leaning over, doing computer work, things of this nature, on the phones, all that type of stuff that you guys know about. So.
Guilty.
Yeah, right. And so when you've got that pelvis against the wall, it's an excellent time to just take your shoulders and put those against the wall as well. And what that does is it translates to when you actually do that freestanding squat, now you can hold your body upright a lot easier.
Yeah, you're training your muscle memory, and that way you don't always have to think about it. It's just automatic.
Excellent point. Excellent point. Okay, guys, let's take a look at the next exercise here. All right, so we took a look at the squat and the bodyweight squat there, both feet planted equally on the floor, right under the shoulders. And now what we're going to do is we're going to create we're going to show you a single leg squat and create some variety here. So Leah, let's go ahead and set up for a single leg squat.
Toe box, firmly planted for balance. Forward, down. And I'll let Dr. Hill explain the knee over the toe. Yeah,
so what we're looking to do here is we want to maintain the natural biomechanics through the hip, the knee, and especially the ankle. And when you're going down, it's okay for that knee to come out over the toes. Now, go back up for me, okay? And let's go down and do another rep again. You'll notice that there's a natural tendency when she goes down. You can see the heel want to come up just a little bit, and the lower the amount of flexibility that you have in the ankle, the greater you're going to want to pull this heel up. My recommendation to you on this is keep that heel planted on the floor. Remember, you want a stable base to push through, so if that limits your ability to go down, don't pick that heel up, at least not initially as you're learning these, but we'll come back to that down the road and improve that flexibility. But we want to make sure that you're getting that natural biomechanic of taking a step out. So you take that step out and you can just let that knee push over. And when you feel that heel want to come up, push back up. And the nice thing about this is that we're going to show you a lunge in a minute, but this is not the lunge. So the lunge, you're going from a standing position and you're lunging out. In this one, you're just going to go ahead and take that initial step, create some stability for yourself there, and then you're just going down and then back up. Going down and back up. And you're going to feel this on the posterior, on the back side of the leg, as much as you do on the front side, but that's intentional. That's what we're looking for there.
I feel it.
You feel it?
I held for a while.
Okay. So we've got the bodyweight squat, we've got the single leg squat. Now, let's show these guys how to do lunges.
My favorite.
Okay.
It's great for the gluteus maximus.
Okay. All right, ready to show these folks how to do these lunges?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, let's take a look at these lunges. Now, the lunge is going to be very similar to the single leg squat, only it's going to be a bit more dynamic. There's going to be a bit more motion involved with this. And so whereas when you did that single leg squat and you put that foot out initially and you were doing each rep with that front foot stable, the lunge, you're going to come back to neutral every time and then put that foot out. Back to neutral, put the foot out. So Leo, why don't you demonstrate here exactly what we're talking about. There you go. And same thing with this as what we had talked about with the single leg and with the bodyweight squat. We want a firm foundation of planting that foot. We want that foot to be firmly on the ground, and you're pushing all the way back up through that foot, through the entire surface of the foot, and then shoulders back, head up, all those types of things, right? Now, you can alternate legs on this. So what Leah's demonstrating here, this is what's known as a forward lunge, and she's got a pretty big stride there for her height, and you can do this a bit shorter. So Leah, if we have someone that maybe has some discomfort in the knees or in the hips and they're just trying to get these things implemented, show them a shorter stride that they can do, right? So you'll notice on this that she's not going as deep. She has the same initial biomechanics and movement here, but she's not going as deep, and that way she's not stressing those joints to the same degree. Not in a negative way, but for any of you that are looking at this and thinking, I can't do that full range of motion that she's doing, again, don't sweat that. I'm giving you this information with the mindset of we're trying to support beginners here, not trying to support individuals who are more advanced in this, and so those shorter steps are completely fine. Now, we want to take a look at, shoulders back, we want to take a look at some variations on this that you can incorporate in as well. So let me show you 3 variations that we have here. So the first one was what Leah was just demonstrating. That's your forward lunge. And so that lead leg is going out. Now, we can also do this, if that's the forward lunge, we can also take that leg and go backwards as well. And now we've got a reverse lunge. Okay? So we can go forward, we can go reverse, or we can do a side lunge where we're out here and we're going out to the side, or we can go out to the other side. Now, when you're doing the forward and reverse lunge, you're predominantly putting a lot of emphasis on these quadricep muscles, on these hamstring and glute muscles on the backside of the leg there and the backside of the pelvis. And when you start to do these more lateral or side lunges, now you're still working the quads and the hamstrings, but you're also starting to initiate a stretch in here as well. So what you'll feel is on the trailing leg, the area that you feel the muscles stretch is going to be different. So just to make you aware of that. Now, Leah, we have talked about 3 core exercises here that even for folks like you and I who work out, we come back to these exercises.
They still burn and hurt. You can get just as results of, you just keep adding weight and different things as you progress, but these are always a core. If you have a gym, you don't have a home gym, and you're intimidated, you're just like, I don't know what to do, this is a little overwhelming. You could just go into the aerobic room or just pick a corner and do these things, and no one's going to bat an eye at you. So.
Right. So we focused on the ones that we would emphasize, even though I'm telling you that they work the front and the back. Some might argue that these are a bit more focused on the quadriceps and the overall leg development. Not really true when these are done correctly. They're focusing on equally the front and the back. But what I want to share with you are some exercises that specifically focus on the back side of the leg. So we're thinking lower body weight here. A lot of individuals, I notice this when I see individuals picking things up. They just reach over and they just pick something up, right? Well, what would be more biomechanically sound and much safer and not risk the low back even when you're not picking up something heavy is to just be able to bend down and pick that same thing up. And a lot of folks find that when they bend down, they don't tuck their hips under them and really fire their glutes and their hamstrings, right? We laugh at this, right? Because it looks funny when you're actually really highlighting what those muscles do. But you really want to make sure that you're protecting and strengthening these glute muscles and these hamstring muscles. And so let's show them exactly how they can do that at home, okay? So hang with us here. Now, as you can see, we've transitioned to lying on the floor. We've got the mat under us here. And again, what we're looking to focus on here is we're going to be highlighting the muscles on the back side of the leg. So we're looking at the hamstring muscles, and we're going to also focus on these glute muscles back here. So this exercise that Leah's getting ready to demonstrate is called a bridge. And I like to call this more specifically a glute hamstring bridge. And I'll show you how to put more emphasis on one group of muscles versus another here in just a moment. But Leah, if you could just demonstrate, and this is, as she's doing this, this is a 2-leg bridge, which means that we're probably going to show them how to do a 1-leg bridge, right? But this is the 2-leg bridge. And so, Leah, if you will start off showing them how to do the 2-leg bridge here, and just like it says, she's bridged up her pelvis, so she just literally just brought the pelvis straight off of the floor. And what you want to do with this, you want to relax. What you want to do with this is you want to hold this. So you can, actually let me correct that. You can go up and down and do repetitions as she's doing here, or you can just do a static hold on this as well. So you get to the top position like that, and you're just going to hold it. Now, let me speak to a couple of variations on this. So go ahead and relax here. And what I'm going to have her do is bring those heels out just a bit like this. And now go ahead and lift that up. Lift your pelvis up. And when she does that, that's putting more emphasis on the hamstrings. Now, bring your pelvis back down. And now we're going to tuck these back under her just a bit. And she's going to bring her pelvis up again. And now there's a bit more emphasis on the glute muscles here when she does it like that. Now, remember we said that this is the 2-leg version, so we want to take a look at the 1-leg version. Now, when you're looking at this 1-leg version, there's a key thing that I want to make sure that you don't make the mistake of doing, and that is you don't want the pelvis to rock. And admittedly, this 1-leg version is not where you need to be starting at. You need to be starting with the 2-leg and evolve into this. So Leah, go ahead and come up into this 2-leg. Let's actually start with just a 2-leg. So drop that down, just come up on a 2-leg. And she's going to extend out this left leg, or right leg, and keep that pelvis still nice and flat. So if I had a level on here, a bubble level on this, and she was looking at that bubble level, she would actually see that when she picked up that leg, that bubble level didn't change. And so that's how you want to focus on these over time, is making sure this is your progression, and the way you can get stronger and make this a bit more difficult without added weight or resistance, and she's just using her own body weight here.
And it does hurt when you do enough of them.
Yeah, this is a great exercise. Even when I'm doing more of my advanced training and I'm going through my dynamic workout, this is an exercise that I lean on very, very heavily to help me with my dynamic workout, dynamic warm up for my workout
too.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a great one for starting to really emphasize that posterior part of the lower body, the glutes and the hamstrings, especially there. And so we're going to show you one more exercise, and what we're going to do is basically take this entire positioning that Leah's got here, and we're going to flip it over. So here we go. This last exercise that is a key to these body weight exercises is going to be called a lying reverse hyperextension. So normally, if we were thinking about a hyperextension, we're thinking about hyperextending this lumbar spine, and Leah would be bringing the front portion of the body up. But we're going to do the opposite of that. This is a reverse hyperextension, which means that we're going to bring the lower body portion up. And what we're going to do is Leah's going to keep the knees straight, and this is one of the things that I would say to try to work on. But if you need to create initially some variability to reduce the load here, what you can do is actually bend the knees just a bit. But I would suggest keep the knees straight and then point the toes. And Leah, go ahead and demonstrate this. And what she's doing is she's contracting the glutes and the hamstrings here, and relax. And then another rep. And you can see it, there's not a lot of range of motion in this movement. It's a very short range of motion. So don't look at this and think, you know, I don't have this long range of motion here. I'm not really doing anything. That's not the case at all. Anyone can do these. And the excellent thing about this is that not only is this strengthening these muscles on the hamstring and the glute area, you're also starting to strengthen some of these lower lumbar muscles here around the lower portion of the spine. These are being contracted as well. In fact, go ahead and do that, Leah. you can, when we're looking at this, we can see that these muscles very easily it's very easy to observe that they're contracting there when she's doing each one of those reps, and then she relaxes, and you can just see that the muscle tone in the lower back changes as well. So we're contracting all the way up through the lumbar and into the lower thoracic spine there, lower mid back as well. So this is absolutely one that I would emphasize. There's a lot of attributes to this exercise for supporting the other ones that we were talking about that you may think about more of the front side of the leg, such as the squats, the single leg squat, the lunges, these types of things. But can you feel this in your hamstrings and in your glutes there, Leah?
Oh, yeah, definitely here and of course a little bit right next. Yep.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, guys, so that is our 5 exercises to get you going with the lower body. Well, those are the 5 lower body weight exercises that we can begin to build an exercise program around. Now, I've definitely got other exercises, body weight exercises that I'm going to be sharing with you. So keep an eye out for that. They're going to be focusing on upper body, and that way you'll be able to build a complete exercise protocol for yourself. A lot easier said than you might actually think. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and close this video out. Hey, if you are looking for more information about what I do with patients and the topics that we talk about, you can go to drarlandhill.com to find out more about that. And then if you are looking for information about Harvest Hills Ranch and you want to find out about the food that we raise and the uncompromising principles that we use in raising this food, you can go to harvesthillsranch.com and find out all about that. Until next time, we'll see you soon.